If OPEC members have agreed to cut supply, and some other times we've seen a rise in the price of crude, how does that help us in our 2017 budget? This is the time for me to bring in Rilwan Okpanachi. He's a legal practitioner and he's been actually studying this oil benchmark. Tell us what you think this whole dynamics is going to help in the year 2017, keeping in mind the non-OPEC membership, coming into play here, specifically Russia.
Good evening, Suleiman. For now, it is a thing of joy that oil price is on the increase, and that is very supportive of our benchmark for the budget, which is $42 per barrel. And if the peace in the Niger Delta right now is sustained, that means we'll be able to achieve a lot in terms of implementation of our budget this year. But looking at the agreements among OPEC members and other non-OPEC countries like Russia and wherever, the issue that calls for attention now is the sustainability of that agreement, whether the agreement can be sustained, whether there is a fidelity to that agreement. That if that is ascertained, that is when we can say for sure that the 2017 budget is going to be implemented with resources coming from oil and gas. But when you look at the agreements in the first place, the agreement was primarily, pushed forward by Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia had an agenda. The first agenda of Saudi Arabia was to ensure that the shale oil producers of USA are frustrated out of the market. And after that agenda became dangerous to its economy, it has to look into the situation and embrace other OPEC members and even the non-OPEC members to see how they can cut production to shore up the oil prices. That is the development, and Russia to also key into that, and that has come to be. And an average shale producer produces at the cost of $60 per barrel. So we are seeing a situation whereby if the oil prices continues, if it continues to $60 per barrel, the shale oil producers who have been idle and who have been cutting production will resume production. Definitely there is this, and that itself will become a serious challenge to Nigeria again and to other OPEC members, because for any of the OPEC members to have a stable economy, particularly those countries that are heavily dependent on crude oil, the oil must be in the region of $60 per barrel. And if oil climb to that $60 per barrel, then the dormant shale producers will come up and they will oversupply the markets. Then that will take us back to where we are coming from. So it is not Uhuru yet. So we must do more to diversify our economy. We must do more to sort for resources from other sources.
I think a good thing that we're looking at the Made in Nigeria initiative. We'll come back to you, and when we do, we'll also look at the seeming threat. As you said, that it's not Uhuru yet. The seeming threat of the militants is now talking in the Niger Delta again, perhaps. And you put that side by side with the, I think, the resumption of payment of stipends to ex-militants, and see how this can work for us in 2017. Quickly, back to you, Bamikole. You're looking at what is happening now. It should go beyond the Abakaliki rise. It should go beyond the Lake rise. It should go beyond some of these staples and go into big-time production, which we definitely will be hoping to see. Time was where you talk about Nigeria having the best cables in terms of electricity cables and a couple of other things. How well can we bring this to the map and see how we can also encourage some of these people to take some of these goods out of the country and make more money?
Well, we're not just stopping at just the initiative. For the exhibition and the roundtable, we're bringing stakeholders to National Assembly. Last year, we had the National Assembly Business Roundtable. We had some of the business guys come to Senate and told us these are the things that we need to do to create a better business environment, the ease of doing business. So these bills, the Senate is already working on it. Some of them have been passed. The Bankruptcy and Insolvency Acts have already been passed. The Public Procurement Act has been passed. So we have 11 of such bills that within the next few months, we expect that it would be passed at the Senate and also concurred at the National Assembly. This will definitely stimulate the economy. It will put more money into the system, create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive, for more businesses to even come into Nigeria to establish a groundwork for them to be able to build up.
You know, just like as the real one said, so that we don't keep looking at the oil or talking about crude. He did say we must have to diversify, and I'm quite sure that is one of the things we're looking at. By the way, I think I looked you up before you came on. You have a poultry farm now.
Yes.
Well, how are your chicks doing?
Pretty well, pretty well.
How old are they now?
Well, we're starting a new batch. We had to, sell some for Christmas.
So definitely that means that more Nigerians can actually get into some of these. If you are doing poultry and the next man out there is also maybe into piggery and a couple of other things, you say this will definitely, reflect the economy. But, there must be something that will help the average Nigerian, talking about startup capital.
For the startup capital, we're definitely bringing the Bank of Industries. Right now, there's another bill in the National Assembly, the National Development Bank, to really understand how come more Nigerians are not getting value for money for some of this, from some of these agencies. I've heard that some of the agencies are doing well, but the other agencies are not doing as well. So we're trying to bring everybody to the table, the agencies, the lawmakers, and the people. So we don't keep making laws in a vacuum. So we can have a proper understanding, okay, why is the XYZ not getting access to
because it looks like BOI is just the one standing, and we need more of what BOI is doing in the country at the moment. So if you say that is one of the things that the National Assembly is looking into now, how soon are we likely to see more coming on stream?
In the first quarter. The first quarter, in the Office of the Senate President, I've seen some of the documents that, we're looking at the expectation. As you know, the 8th Assembly, there is a legislative agenda that we're working with. So with the senators, I've seen them, I've spoken to my boss, and there's assurance that this is something that we have to do. There's a dedication, there's a focus, and we're moving to the... From this entry that we've been getting on Made in Nigeria, 40 to 50% of the entries are on value chain of agriculture. So agriculture is something that if we really need to diversify the economy, we need to focus on.
Let's bring the Real One in quickly here. Real One, Okpanachi, now you stopped at diversification of the economy, and that's the conversation myself and Bamikolo we're having here. What ray of light do you see in that regard?
Suleiman, before answering that question, let me take it from the perspective of diversification within the oil and gas industry. When you look at oil and gas industry, we have not taken full advantage of the opportunities in oil and gas industry. In oil and gas industry, you have oil crude, you have gas, you have downstream, you have upstream, you have all kinds of opportunities, even oil services activities. We have not taken full advantage of that. So we must also do more to diversify the opportunity, to diversify the economy, to take full benefit of the opportunities that are abound in oil and gas industry. And that is why, for us to take the National Assembly seriously, based on what my friend over there is saying, they must do more to pass the PIB. The PIB has been in the National Assembly for years. Nothing has been done. And if that law is passed, definitely it will ensure that there is serious diversification within the oil and gas industry, so that we will not be relying on money coming from crude alone, so that we can tap into the viable markets of gas and other resources within that industry. And it is a good thing that the Senate President is spearheading this idea of diversification for us to embrace Made in Nigeria to grow our economy. I pray and I think that it should not be a 2019 agenda, just like this Senate, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is going about with restructuring. If they are committed to this idea, particularly the Senate, if they are committed to this idea, then it will be a good thing for the nation. But my fear is that the primary duty of the National Assembly, as headed by the Senate President, is to pass law, is to make law. And one of the key bills before the National Assembly is PIB, Petroleum Industry Bill. They should show their commitment. They should demonstrate their love for this country, their love for the economy by passing that bill first, before diversing or digressing into areas that are exclusively for the executive.